Doodle-doo-doo. Before we start this episode, we just wanted to say thank you so much to all of our beautiful, lovely, wonderful, illustrious patrons.
Yeah.
Woo.
Woo.
It is way past that time of the month where we say thank you. So apologies for that, but we were a little busy. But we're here to say thank you. And to this month, oh my gosh, I stuttered so bad there. This month, our shout outs go to John Delicio, Rachel Delicio, Lisa Delicio, Samuel Copeland, Ethan Rudder, Jeanette Clark, Heather and Michael Clark, Mariah Helm, Peter Delicio, Roger Anderson, Hizzy Hay, Christopher Heatherly, and last but not least, Salvador Reyes. Pat yourself on the back. Give yourself a round of applause.
Yay. Thank you guys.
You
I love
guys.
all of you except for one, and you get to figure out who's that one person.
Ooh.
No, I'm kidding. That was a
Comment your
joke. I love
guests-
all of you.
Comment your guests down below. No, seriously, thank you guys so much. Y'all are the backbone of the show, and we couldn't do it without you. If you would like to have your name added to the list of the chosen, you can do so at patreon.com/Socratic Cinema for as little as $1 a month. And you get lots of cool benefits. And my voice keeps going higher. Patreon.com/Socratic Cinema.
Yeah.
Enjoy the episode. This week on Socratic Cinema, the one who kept like creeping around,
Blue Jean Juice.
and then right,
Sewer Puddle Sparkle. He's my favorite.
right, and she looks like she's about 16.
Well, he is about 30. He's 27.
How old is Rachel Ziegler?
Again, that isn't a problem for him.
She looks.
Irishman. See, the problem with Irishman is that the entire movie is falling action.
I remember.
In that, like, it just gets worse from the start.
Hey, party people. Welcome back to another episode of the Socratic Cinema podcast. My co-hosts laugh at me every time I introduce an episode. I try and be fun and unique.
Hey there, party people.
For the kids, I try and do something fun, all right? For the children, it's Christmas.
It's not.
It's
when
not
this
Christmas.
episode is coming out, it is not Christmas.
And I just get laughed at. And I'm really tired of it. And frankly, at this point, I'm going to become the Joker if this keeps up. Today,
Keep him away from the metro. Not the gold line.
Today, we are talking about the long-awaited Steven Spielberg West Side Story starring Ansel Elgort and Rachel Ziegler. Clap it up. Please clap.
The worst pronunciation of that name I've ever heard.
What's her name?
Ziegler.
Ziegler, like Maddie Ziegler from Dance Moms.
Maddie Ziegler is actually right next to Rachel Ziegler on the cast list on IMDb.
Yeah, Maddie Ziegler's in this movie.
She's
Really? Do you think they got their Zieglers mixed up?
I hope not. One being Colombian and the other not.
Wasn't an issue in the last West Side Story.
We'll get to that.
Dang, minute one, we're dropping good takes.
Listen,
This is
today
great.
we're talking about West Side Story, continuing our theme of hot button movies, Oscar talks. It's all going down on Socratic Cinema today. You won't want to miss this one as I pass it to Charlie.
So, West Side Story. It is, fun fact, not a movie originally. Shock and awe, gasp.
Crazy.
Actually a musical written by the wonderful Stephen Sondheim, God rest his soul. And this is my first interaction with West Side Story, is the movie version of it, and specifically this movie version of
This
it.
was
horrible.
your first ever West Side Story?
I have never, in fact, the I Feel So Pretty song, I thought was just a song. I didn't know it was from West Side Story.
Oh, wow. That's like gotta be
Fair.
like My Favorite Things. People who
Yes.
only hear that at Christmas time and then they watch Sound of Music. Oh, wow.
Wait, really? It's in Sound of Music?
Yeah.
Shut up.
No, I'm kidding. Well, I'm actually not kidding. I'm very serious. I haven't seen Sound of Music in several years, and I know nothing about it. But that
Oh.
also has nothing to do
Wow.
with West Side Story.
It doesn't.
So West Side Story, I actually really enjoyed it. And I think what's really cool about seeing Steven Spielberg's movies at this point in his career is you can just tell he's a master at what he's doing.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same thing when you're watching any of Kurosawa's films. Gotta add in Kurosawa there. It's the same thing as watching any of Kurosawa's films where like you can see that he just knows how a camera is meant to work and like how to do all these different shots. The lighting's beautiful, the blocking's beautiful. All of it works together really, really well. And I wasn't expecting Steven Spielberg to do a really competent musical, but
Yeah.
it ended up happening. And speaking of Spielberg, there was a little bit of controversy before this movie even came out about him being the director of this version of West Side Story, because the original one was like pretty racist. So they were like, white man director, is that the best move? I think that Spielberg did a pretty good job. And I think that I've never seen the original musical, but that was also written by a white guy. And it seems like this was what happened in the musical. So if you're fine with the way that the race relations are handled in the musical, then you're probably fine with how they're handled in this movie. But, you know, I wish I had seen the different versions of it so I could talk more about that. But I really loved the sort of unique tone it went with musicals, because recently we've gotten like some sort of surrealist takes on how like music is shown on screen, like mainly in Lin-Manuel Miranda's movies, so specifically Tick, Tick, Boom and In the Heights, where like there's all these like graphics that are appearing when people are talking. You can think of like the piano notes in the swimming pool from that one scene in Tick, Tick, Boom. None of that in this movie. All diegetic, all in the world, and I really liked that.
Yeah.
I sort of liked the commitment to like having these guys tap dance through the street and like nobody batting an eye or laughing at them.
Yeah.
That was really entertaining and fresh. And I think just in general, it's a very competent take on what is, you know, a relatively solid musical. Definitely not my favorite songs, and we'll get into, you know, which ones specifically I felt could have been cut. But definitely go watch this, and I think that this does have a good contender for maybe even best film of the year
Wow.
at the Oscars. So I would give this a solid 8.5. I really enjoyed my experience with it, especially for my first time seeing anything West Side Story related.
Dang.
Wow.
We be giving out 8s. One thing about Socratic
For
cinema,
real.
they're going to give it an 8.
They're gonna give it an 8.
For real. Oh man. Well, as we know, I'm definitely a musical theater kid, show choir kid. But West Side Story, I didn't watch it until high school. I never really interested me because Romeo and Juliet never really interested me.
Right.
And it was just Romeo and Juliet. But with racism and gentrification.
Ooh.
Yikes.
So, which is also, I think, very interesting because having seen both this new version and the older version, I was very happy that there was actual Latinx people here instead of just white people in dark makeup. And even there was maybe one Latinx person in the original, and they still made her wear very, very dark makeup.
Yikes.
Yeah, it was really bad, but I'm glad that they totally went a different route with that. In my notes, my first line is "white boy nonsense," given the opening song.
Yeah, how do you decipher your own notes? Because I'm wondering. Like, if I read white boy nonsense, I'd be like, what did I mean by that?
Oh, I know exactly what I mean. It's just the opening scene of the sharks just
Yeah, that's why.
I'm like,
Yeah,
wow.
absolute no-
Yeah,
that
they
is
going
nonsense.
into the ethnic community and being like, let me
It's-
mess with your
It's
stuff.
some nonsense. Yeah.
It's some nonsense.
That's some nonsense. I'll give you
And
that.
listen, I'm just saying, it was white boy nonsense. I saw white boy nonsense. I wrote white boy nonsense.
Anything else, Miss Clark?
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You've
I
seen
went-
your time.
Sorry. Overall, it was pretty enjoyable. I'll get more like into maybe choreography and stuff later on, but definitely think Steven Spielberg did a great job. It was a pretty competent musical, and I feel like I really like this trend of elevating musicals that we have going on, and I like how there's more like inclusivity in musicals. I talked about it in Hamilton, that actually having musicals either recorded or having them being adapted like this is great, because not everyone can afford to go and see things on Broadway, in the actual theater, all that stuff. So I really appreciate that. I'd probably give it a 7. It was really, really good, but the story, I just don't like it overall.
Totally fair. Yeah, when you adapt anything directly from Shakespeare, especially as like explicitly as this movie does, it's like, I've seen this before.
Yes,
Interesting,
exactly.
Interesting. Okay, first and foremost, obviously, pay your respects to Charlie. Stop
Talking
it.
to the mic, James.
No.
First and foremost, I'm gonna pay my respects to Stephen Sondheim. You would have loved Tick, Tick, Boom. This movie was I had seen West Side Story once. I saw a high school production of it when I was like 12, and
I didn't really like it when I saw it when I was 12 because I didn't get it, and I was like,
Yeah.
"Why are they all dying at the end?" Because I hadn't seen Romeo. It wasn't freshman year, and I hadn't read Romeo and Juliet yet, and I didn't know what was going on, and I thought it was really sad, and I didn't like how everyone died at the end. But seeing this film now, I absolutely loved this movie. I thought this movie smacked it out of the ballpark. It was a little long. It felt a little long to me.
Yes.
It is a bit of. I just forgot how much happens after the Rumble. Like,
Oh yeah.
there's a lot of fallout from that. There's a lot of
Yes.
falling action in this movie. But I loved it. I adore the music in this movie because it's a little jazzy.
Intriguing.
I like a little jazz, I thought the cinematography.
Interesting reaction.
This is possibly the most. I would say, visually, this is probably my favorite movie of the year. I think this movie's cinematography was
Whoa.
like incredibly good. I would say this visually is like some La La Land level stuff. I know, this is high praise.
Wow.
So, listen, Steven Spielberg, that opening shot shows you that man knows how to shoot a movie, and then he does it again like 2,000 more times. Like,
Okay, sure. Yeah.
it is
Okay, that's fair.
gorgeously shot. I mean, I think of we can talk about it more. I thought the performances were all good. I honestly, there's an elephant in the room when we talk about the cast of this film that we can probably maybe that's how we open up. But
The girl from Dance Moms. is-
yeah, gosh, get her out of here.
Gosh, kick her out.
But I really, really, really liked this movie. There's not a whole lot that I didn't like about it aside from the length. I mean, I thought the performances were great. The story's classic, but it had heart to me. Like the emotions hit. I will say the end emotionally didn't hit for me as much because I was so drained from all the tragedy that had been going on for the last 45 minutes that when the big end part happened, I was just like,
I wanted the girl to die.
I thought I could have sworn to you that she did. Like,
Really?
I have a vivid memory of me being like 12, and I distinctly remember the girl dying. And then I asked everyone because I saw the movie and she didn't die, and I started Googling it. I was like, doesn't she die? No. I had a
Yeah, that's
total
wild.
Mandela effect moment where like, I could swear to you that this girl dies, and apparently she doesn't. I mean, it would have been more Romeo and Juliet accurate if she did.
That is very true.
That is super. Well, like, and they were baiting it too. Like,
Oh yeah.
because I've never seen it, so I thought that she was gonna die. I was like, oh, I know Romeo and Juliet,
Yeah.
and she like puts literally the gun to her head at one point. I'm like, this would be wild of them to just like
Oh, yeah, to
show that
just-
shot.
I
I was like,
That
there's
would've been
no
crazy.
I was
way.
scared, and I thought she died too, so I was a little concerned. I was starting to freak out there. I was like, whoa, whoa,
Yeah,
whoa.
and the
Not
plot
on
of this
camera,
takes like
not
a
on camera.
super dark turn near the end. Like,
Yeah.
trigger warning, sexual assault.
Oh my
But-
gosh.
But
Yeah.
there's like a rape scene.
that
like,
was genuinely
that
like
was
yeah, they don't like
Very,
actually
yeah.
rape her, but like it was gonna happen
That
if,
was
if there was an intervention. I wasn't expecting that.
yeah.
that
and-
yeah.
And I was sitting next to my friend, and she had like been or she'd performed in the musical before, and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I hate this scene." Having never seen it, I was like, "Oh, it's gonna be like just really tense. Like it's gonna be a tense thing." Because she like balled up, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's not a tense thing."
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
whoa.
It's an actual.
It
oh,
was
God.
that was genuinely, I mean, the point is that it's upsetting, right?
Yeah.
Like, but it was very visceral. I'm not trying to like knock it or say that scene shouldn't have been in the movie or whatever, but it is definitely like
No, I'm glad it's in the movie. I think it's a really good scene. But yeah, it hits
Yeah.
hard.
yeah, definitely. This movie is very intense for sure. Is it rated R? It should be.
I don't know. I don't think it is. I think it's PG-13.
I think I would not I don't know that I'd let a 13-year-old watch it, honestly.
No. Plus, there's a whole bunch of slurs in here.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing that I have heard. I've heard from one person that they will sometimes keep the slurs in the like musical version of it too, if you're performing it,
Oh,
because they think
yeah.
it's more accurate to the time. And like that's sort of the point of the movie is that there's a
That's
bunch of racism.
yeah.
I don't know if I agree with that or not.
I'm not sure how I feel about that
But-
take, because that's a take you hear a lot with everything. A lot of like slavery movies too. It's like, well, we have to keep the slurs in because it's historically accurate. And I don't know how I feel about that entirely. I get what they're saying, but at the same time, I'm like, do you have to keep it in though? I don't feel like you do personally, but
Like it to me, it matches sort of the tone of this movie, though. Like in that the movie, I think, is meant to be a very scathing picture of, or very raw picture of America,
right.
and exemplified in the song "America," where everyone talks about their different interpretations of it, and it's meant to show the potential and the good, and then the awful, really bad stuff as well. So to me, I'm like, it's not out of place.
No, and I want
movie.
to say, I think it's important to say that, at least to me, subtextually or textually, I think the film is very clear that the Jets are in the wrong, the Sharks are in the right.
Yes.
It is very clear about that to me. Like it is, it's not one of those like we can see both sides and have an even look.
Yeah.
It's like no, Jets are wrong, Sharks are right. Someone pointed out to me, a friend of mine who played in the pit for this show, so he was like playing trombone or something. That the music, there's the conflict theme, is like sort of incorporated into the Jets theme as well. So it's sort of like showing that the Jets are the aggravators through the music, which I think is really cool. Speaking of which, maybe that's where we want to open up the music, because I love it, and Charlie seemed like he less than loved it.
Oh, okay, sure, we can do this now.
Yeah, let's just get it out of the way.
So
Let's just jump in.
I like overall, it's not my favorite musical. I don't hate it, but the pacing problem that you've talked about, it being a little too long.
Yeah.
When I saw this, I mentioned 2 songs that I thought that you could cut. And remember, I don't really know anything about this musical.
I bet I could guess them.
Which 2?
I think you can cut the song in the police station.
Mm-hmm.
Am I right with that one?
Oh,
No.
Mr. Something.
No?
something.
No.
I think that is totally cuttable.
This is my take. The 2 songs that you cut are America, and you also cut I Feel Pretty.
What?
Whoa.
Which I understand are the 2 most popular songs from this musical.
I think those are like much needed moments of brevity amidst all the terribleness.
Here's
Yeah.
the argument.
Okay.
Let's start with I Feel Pretty, because I think it's the easier one to go after. I Feel Pretty lasts way too long, and it's way too repetitive, and is too simple of a theme for me to really care that much. That
It's
like,
a little long.
Like, I'm very happy that there is a pacing moment right after the Rumble. I think you could have done that with dialogue or story or something. Like, to me, one of the main things I like about songs and musicals is when they drive forward some sort of, either internal character goal or something in the plot, right?
Yeah.
So I Feel Pretty isn't really driving any of the main girl. What's her name?
Maria.
Maria. Yeah, sounds sweet like a prayer. Yeah. Like, it's not really driving any of her personality traits forward. It's just sort of, she feels she's in love. Like,
That's fair.
like-
I hear.
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying.
like, you could have done that a million other ways, and I think it goes on for too long. The America one is a bit more controversial. I think America is actually the best song in the musical. My problem with having it in the musical is that I feel like it just ruins the pacing of the movie for me.
Really?
Because you're coming off of like this hot, like intense, like argument scene, and you go immediately into like, these are our different socio-political views of America, and like how, like, it's like a 5-minute song. And I don't need that much when it's just explaining these character views, when I can pick that up from all of the dialogue they have already. Like, to me, America works as a great standalone song, but I don't like how it's integrated into the plot or pacing of the movie or the musical. And honestly, I think it's better if you just keep the plot moving forward instead of like diving in so hard into something that I feel like is already at the core of the movie. I don't need it explained to me like that.
I
That's
hear
fair.
you. Yeah, no, I hear you. I don't know that I agree, but I understand.
Yeah.
To me,
I really like the police song, though. That should stay.
I like the police song. I think it was extraneous. I feel like it was.
I think it's extraneous, too.
I think it was only there for that one moment with. They all have such goofy names.
I don't know any of the names.
Do you
so-
remember?
Riff?
There's no.
Oh,
The
not Riff.
It's like the one that's like not sure if he's a jet yet or something.
yeah. What was the name in the credit?
Baby Daniel?
Anybody's or something? I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. They have
The one who
goofiest
kept like
name.
creeping around.
Blue Jean Juice.
And then right.
Sewer Puddle Sparkle. He's my favorite.
Right, yeah. What would your jet name be?
Jazz Hands McGee.
Rat Boy.
Is mine.
No, it's mine. I feel like I'm gonna call you that.
Listen, mine would be a slur. So
Casey said I would not be a jet.
I would not be a jet.
Well, no, I'm referring to.
Oh, wait. I have a question about one of the jets.
Okay.
Was the jet who was transgender in the original production?
I was curious about this very same thing. I've heard yes.
You've heard yes.
I've heard that they didn't call him trans in the original. It was just like a tomboy kind of thing.
Right, yeah.
But I guess, I mean, in this movie, they were more explicitly like trans, this is a transgender character. But I've heard that in the original stage play, yeah, that character is in the play. And it's actually more, I guess it's more explicit in that character has a bigger part and is more actively like,
Yeah.
Yeah. In this, I thought it almost. I mean, I appreciate it, but at the same time, I feel like it was kind of integrated poorly in this movie.
So I agree. From the outside looking in, I thought it was like a tacked on, it's 2021, we have to have
Exactly.
something about it thing.
That's exactly what I thought.
It didn't feel, yeah, you're right. It didn't feel as integrated as it needed to be. And it also added a very like extra dimension to this movie when it was already so heavy into very heavy themes of like race relations and all that sort of
Yeah.
stuff. When I was like, okay, let's also add in like an exploration of gender and sexuality and all that. Like that's a lot to tackle in one film.
I'm not gonna knock it because I guess
No,
it was
like,
in the
yeah.
original. But it did definitely came across as like we need to right, exactly like you said, like it's 2021. We need to include this. Just because the way they included it was like every few minutes, it felt like every couple minutes, like the scene would end and then the shot would linger, and that
Yes.
kid would just be there.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And it was like,
Yeah.
why
And
don't
it's
you
like,
include this
why?
more naturally?
It was totally a footnote.
right.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's like, oh wait, we forgot about this person.
Well, it's like I noticed it in the first number that he was always like following along, and then it just kept happening the whole movie, and I was like, what is the deal here?
right, yeah.
And I feel like the payoff wasn't that big. I mean, there's that moment where there's the cheesy like dolly zoom on that jet, and he's like, "You did good, buddy boy," and it's like,
Yeah.
"Oh, he's a jet now." And it's like that felt cheesy. That felt like an Avengers Assemble moment that was
Thumbs
not at
up
all
from
earned.
Poppy.
Dude,
type.
the dolly zoom and everything. It literally pushed
Yeah.
it on his face and was like, "You did good, buddy boy." I was like, "Come on."
Well, and like it also happened after another member of the Jets like
It happened after they tried to
completely
it was
invalidated their identity.
and it was that was after the assault scene.
Yeah.
It was right after the assault scene,
Yeah.
and I think the character's name is Anybody's or something like that. Comes in and is like, "Oh, Chino's gonna go try and kill Tony," and they were like, "Oh, thanks for the intel. You're a jet now."
Yeah.
Huh? After all this?
After all
We've been
Okay.
through. Yeah. So I don't know. Mixed feelings about that. It definitely was an element of the movie that sticks out. Not to say sticks out like a sore thumb, but it's definitely like this could have been incorporated into the sauce a little bit better.
Yeah, I feel like it definitely came across like in the original, it was like a big like representation thing.
In the
original West Side
movie
Story.
or
In the screen in the
okay.
in the play. And so I felt like maybe it did get kind of lost, and like, oh, if we don't do it, then we're gonna get backlash for not having that like representation. So we're just gonna kind of throw some stuff in,
sprinkle it on.
sprinkle it on, which
Yeah.
again, it wasn't really great. It didn't flesh out that character.
It's totally damned if you do, damned if you don't.
It's like they
Yes,
tried to make
definitely.
you think that this character was a bigger deal than they actually were.
yeah.
Because like really, how much did he do? Not a ton.
And like when did the
Yeah.
original West Side Story come out?
Oh, a while.
I could not
Like a
tell
while
you.
ago, right? Like it totally feels like there was a certain view about transgender people from that time, and they had to inherit that. And I think they did the best job of modernizing it that they possibly could.
Because
But
I mean,
it
it wasn't. I mean, in this movie, it felt very clear that it's like a transgender character.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like. I mean, I guess back then that terminology wasn't really like used.
yeah, like
mu-
as you said, originally just a tomboy.
right,
Right. But when you actually
Maybe
dig into the plot of the
cross-dressing.
movie, it's like, oh, okay, this isn't really like, there's a lot more to be said here. And
Yeah. So I don't know. It's a very it's a very sticky thing. I think for sure.
it didn't like
didn't bother
sour
me,
my
no.
view of the movie. It
Oh,
was
at
just like an
all.
interesting
Yeah, it
thing
was just
that
something I noticed that was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting flavor, a bit of spice in there.
Spice.
But okay, You know what we need to talk about?
What do we need to talk about?
We cannot escape this without talking about Mr. Elgort.
Yep.
Did he sour your experience of this movie? Did you know going in about his infamy?
Well,
Infamy.
well, so I did, and I have my own thing on that. But Kasey, did you?
I did.
You
yeah.
knew? Okay. Because I thought that you were the one that knew the most about the situation when we were talking about it before.
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot to know.
There's
Not
not
a
a
lot to
whole lot to
know.
know, but it was in that like span in 2020 where it's like literally everyone.
Everybody.
They were just pop, pop.
It's like they looked at the artists
was
I listened
so
to on
bad.
Spotify.
Yeah,
and
and they're
no
like
more.
him.
Oh, speaking of artists you listen to, Ansel Elgort is a musician and goes
He
by
is.
On Solo.
Oh my! Now that sours my
With
experience.
the first O is like one of those O's where they put a dash through it or like a
Oh,
line
dear.
through it.
Oh my
God.
gosh, really?
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm
that's
solo.
horrible. But yes, so do you? I don't know. I mean, you pulled up an article about
Oh,
it.
yeah.
but-
Basically, just for all the viewers, it's very simple. Basically, one person on Twitter in 2020 said that Ansel Elgort was 20 and they were 17 when they were in a relationship together. Ansel Elgort denied those allegations and on an Instagram post said that their relationship was like legal, consensual, completely fine.
I also heard that she elaborated and said that there was some more like
No, she has the receipts and he also agrees that the relationship occurred.
well, right, and it's not so much just that they were in a relationship, but I guess he was also not
Yeah.
super cool in the relationship.
Yes, very
Coercive.
coercion.
Yeah.
Very.
We don't need to go into all the gory
Yeah.
details.
Mm-hmm.
But it was just more exploitative, and everyone's like,
Yeah, and it's a real shame because now that's 2 in Baby Driver.
That's 2 in Baby
That's
Driver.
2 in
I was legit talking about this to someone the other day.
Oh my God, you're right.
Baby Driver, man. I hope nothing comes out about John Hamm or Jamie Foxx.
No, they're sweethearts.
Why would you better knock on some wood?
Yeah,
I-
James.
I-
come
there's
on.
no
There's no
wood
wood
here.
nearby.
The table, dang it.
But it didn't. So like I didn't know enough about it to really have a soured view of Ansel Elgort. I just knew that people didn't like him. But he's honestly the worst actor in this film.
Yeah.
Like
It's
Agreed.
more his performance.
it's more his performance that is
than
just not super.
He just has a very soft look. It's hard to buy him as like a gangster.
that
When he's-
went
yeah.
to prison for a year?
Yeah,
He's got a very
no,
baby.
Ansel?
No.
I mean, the whole thing
His
is that
name
I
is
mean,
Ansel.
he's got like a baby face.
That's why they call him Baby Driver.
But yeah, that's why they call him
well,
Baby.
and he also has a like stoic look because he can't act. So it was great when they just put him in
okay,
glasses
hold
and
on.
he sat there for the entire movie.
See, I
Yeah.
like him as an actor. Like I like his performance. I think he was a weaker performance in this movie, but I enjoyed it. And it was a lot of cognitive dissonance because I really loved it, but at the same time I was like, I don't know how I feel about the fact that you're in this because they filmed the whole movie before anything with Ansel came out.
Oh, interesting.
And that boy has not been in any press interviews.
Since.
On the late night talk shows he's been on for this movie, they did not ask him about any of this. They are trying their best to just like
Yeah.
look the other
To
way.
just leave
Like
it alone.
let the movie come out. Steven Spielberg has said we are not trashing this after all the work I put in.
Yep.
Exactly. No reshoots, no
Is-
recast.
okay. Question for you guys. Did he look out of place with Rachel Ziegler? Did they look weird together?
I think that he looks weird with every human being.
No. But do you know what I mean by that?
Like, what do you mean?
Did they? She looked.
I mean, she's definitely out of his league. If that is that
Well,
what you're
well,
saying?
what I'm
Can
saying
Rachel
is,
Ziegler be in my league? Can we be together, Rachel?
what I'm saying is, she one.
Crying.
I don't know, but they just like how you see some couples together and it's just like, yeah, you look like a couple. They didn't look like
Couple are siblings.
well, I
so,
mean,
so they didn't have good chemistry, is what you're saying.
no, it's,
I don't think-
it's a visual thing. it's Ansel Elgort looks like he's about 30, and she looks like she's about 16.
Well, he is about 30. He's 27.
How old is Rachel Ziegler?
Again, that isn't a problem for him.
She look. Oh my! Jeez. She looks like she was about less than half his age. Is my thing. They looked really. It was jarring.
No, she definitely looked very young in comparison to him.
Yeah, I mean, she looks like a child. Is she supposed? I mean, maybe she is. How
She
old
is 20 years old.
20.
in actor years? That's like a baby. How old is?
27.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be.
But still, you're definitely right. Like 20 is still like I have a friend that's 20.
but
Like
just
that's
in,
super young.
in terms of their looks, like she looks very young in the movie.
She does.
She could
Yeah.
play like a 16-year-old, I think. Totally.
Totally.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. No,
the
like
CW's written her name down.
wait.
They're like this
Also,
one
what
right
was that
here.
dance? Are they in high school? Are all of them in high school?
No, I think that's
It's like a
a
mixer.
community mixer at
Yeah.
the school gym.
So we used to dance in community mixers. That used to be a thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like swing.
you know, we used to be a proper country.
we used to be a proper
We used to be a real
country.
country. No, speaking of which, that is probably between the dance and the rumble. Those are, I think, my two favorite scenes in the movie. They're
Oh,
just
entirely agree.
brilliantly
Oh, yeah.
shot, composed. The camera movements in the dance.
Oh my god.
Oh, it was great.
That's why I say La La Land mode. Like I'm dude. Spielberg used his ult in this movie. He absolutely popped off. He used his special ability. He went crazy
real.
with this one.
No, the choreography was really, really good.
Really
honestly.
good.
It was really good.
It's hard. There's something intrinsically goofy about having street gangsters tap dance through the streets.
yes.
This movie did it in a way that didn't feel too goofy.
Oh, I still laughed at it.
Well, I did at first. For the
Again.
first like 5 minutes, I was like, what is this? But I was
just
into it
commits.
after a while.
Yeah.
He commits. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like so, this
yeah.
is the thing with any artist. If you're making something, you just gotta commit. Like,
Yep.
if you have a weird thing and you're like, this doesn't work the first time that I did it, do it 7 more times. And
Repetition legitimizes.
Yeah,
That's
it-
yeah.
it makes it feel like it's an actual like good choice. Like, oh yeah. So when
it's
you
like,
have,
oh yeah, that's what the Jets do.
yeah, these very buff men ballet dance through the streets to intimidate people.
Yeah.
And I think even like some
Like,
of the
yeah.
songs are a little goofy, like the zip it, buzz it, easy does it. Be
I
cool,
love that
boy.
song.
Yeah, but that's kind of a goofy, like it's kind of goofy, but this movie did it in a way that didn't feel like it was good camp.
That's so camp.
It
This
was good
movie was
camp.
good camp.
Yeah.
It was like, okay, this is a silly song, but they're doing it in a way that still makes me believe it. Like,
Yeah.
and it's like this isn't stupid. This is good. That song I think was really well done. The whole choreography of them, I just slurred all my words. The whole choreography of them like jumping around the bridge with the holes in it, I thought was really good.
Yeah. There's a lot of, because even like the choreography from La La Land took a lot of inspiration from West Side Story.
Yeah,
Which is like it's a
Whoa.
lot of
Full
very,
circle?
like right full
blueprint.
circle, because I remember when we did La La Land, I'm like it was giving very West Side Story, and there's just like in West Side Story there's a lot of tension in the movements, but there's also a lot of musicality as well. So it's like hit and breathe, and like it's a lot of kind of like smooth, which goes along with like the whole jazz, but it's also they want the like it's street gangs. You want there to be like some sort of masculine element. They can't just be, you know,
Traipsing around,
pirouetting
yeah.
in the streets of Manhattan or like Brooklyn, whatever. Where are they? They're in New York.
Yeah, they're in New York.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Somewhere.
Somewhere in New
Nondescript New York.
Nondescript New York. But I think adding that tension is what really like adds in that like masculinity that they're going for, and then also bringing in all of like the like Puerto Rican like bachata, like all that sort of like more like ethnic cultural dances was great too. And I feel like it's just a really great mix, and the choreographers did what needed to be done.
They did what
And
needed to be done.
They did what needed to be done, and it was really just enjoyable to watch. I feel like this movie does, especially like tone wise, like James was saying, it brings back like it's very true to tone from the original movie and the original like screenplay. I don't feel like it like varies too much. Like it's very like, okay, yeah, like the good kind of camp, which at that time would be like, oh yeah, this is just normal.
No,
Yeah.
totally. And what I really loved about the choreography is that this is a movie about very primal instincts, I feel like. Like it's covering love, it's covering territorialism, it's covering tribalism, like all these different things that are sort of base instincts of like humans, like caveman type brain. And the dancing in this, like you said, feels very combative. Like almost
Yes.
like birds like showing their feathers in some moments. Like I know that in both sides, from the Sharks and the Jets, in the like dance scene, like the ball, the you know fun gym dance scene, they're like flouting their dresses like they're like feathers on the back of them, like peacocks.
Yes,
And it's
yeah.
it's so cool because it's like tying into that very base instinct and all the different like core themes that this movie's going into. So really, I mean, I don't know if that's in the original stage production, but hats off to him.
It was good.
I
It was really
also
enjoyable.
my favorite dance move was T-posing in this movie,
Really?
where Ansel Elgort and Maria T-pose at one another to say hi.
And they do the little. I know what you're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, yeah.
I remember
Yeah.
that.
I burst out laughing in the theater, and my friends were like, I know.
So yeah, definitely that was a thing in this movie. You remember when Among Us was in Looney Tunes?
No, it wasn't
Yeah.
in.
It was.
It was also Space Jam,
In
is what you're
Space
talking
Jam,
about.
Not Looney Tunes.
Are you gonna nitpick
Yeah.
those two intellectual
are.
properties? Is that really
Yes.
what we're
Yeah.
gonna do?
Because LeBron James and Bugs Bunny are from two separate universes, and both of them are going to
That's
be
like-
in that new game where you can fight with all the Warner
Dude,
Brothers characters.
that's like saying it's Mario Kart, not Mario.
yeah.
Come on, man.
Exactly.
Really, you're gonna hit me there. No. What was the next thing I wanted to talk about? Oh my gosh, I forgot his name.
Yeah, ask us.
Tony's buddy. Tony's best friend in that movie.
Riff?
Riff.
I loved Riff.
He was a great
that actor
performance.
was.
No,
He's the new. Listen.
don't say white boy of the month.
I'm not gonna call him the white boy of the month. He does not deserve that title. It is Andrew Garfield Wednesday today.
Wednesday.
Yes.
Wednesday.
I love that.
Gwen. Never forget. No, he did a great job. He can join the line of skinny, frail white actors. He can join
Yeah.
in. He can join in with Timothée Chalamet for all I care.
Yeah, he does a weird
He
bridge
did good.
between like Timothée Chalamet and racist Leonardo DiCaprio in Django.
And also
Oh
that
my
guy
God.
from Maze Runner who voice acted Ferb.
No.
He looks a little bit like him.
Eustace?
He's giving a little bit of Ferb. Just a touch of Ferb.
Touch of fur. That's
A
so
touch of
true.
Ferb.
He looks like him.
No,
What was
bet
his
you that he's
name?
British
Riff?
in real life.
Yeah, Riff.
Dude, the knife fight between Riff and
Is it
Maria's
Raph or
brother,
Riff?
Bernardo.
that was so. Ooh, the whole rumble is just
It
incredible.
was really good.
The
Even that scene with the gun where they're juggling the gun. Oh, that was
the
so
scene
good.
with the gun, the way they shoot it with the super long casted shadows.
Oh my
the
god.
Salt piles. What a crazy cool
It was
set piece
really
that is.
good.
Yeah.
The rumble is like peak filmmaking. And I just
Give me outsiders.
I love the way that this movie, like, I'm very interested by the way this movie is structured, because usually you have, the climax is like 15 minutes before the end of the movie and then they wrap it all up. The climax of this movie is like in the middle.
Yeah.
It's like build, rumble, and then you still have half the movie to deal with like the fallout of the rumble.
Yeah.
And I think that's very like fun. Because in any other movie, the rumble would be like the climax, and that's, everything happens right there. But like, you still got a good hour of movie left after that
Yeah.
in this one. And
Because so much of Romeo and Juliet is the denouement. It's like the denouement.
the denouement. Translate.
Pulling
You've
out
talked about this before.
French now.
Denouement is
Denouement.
basically the section of stories that happens after the climax. It's like the
Falling action.
the falling action.
Okay.
Could have
It's called
just said
denouement.
that.
and you have talked a lot about how you love movies that have very long falling
I
action.
do. Remember Irishman?
Yes, I hate Irishman. Irishman. See, the problem with Irishman is that the entire movie is falling action.
I remember Irishman.
In that, like, it just gets worse
Yeah.
from the start.
Hey.
It's awful and boring. Don't
Be
see it.
nice.
Martin
Be
Scorsese
nice.
bribed every person in the Academy to give him like awards for that
Be
movie.
nice.
Wow.
Is it time to talk about Scorsese?
Tom Holland? That's
If
Tom
Spider-Man
Holland
No Way
quote
Home
tweeted this.
if No Way Home gets nominated for any Oscar that's not like visual effects or something, I will be looking with much suspicion. I will be looking very closely, because
Bro.
if No Way Home gets a Best Picture nomination,
James, you wanna make a bet right now?
So Tom Holland came in his Rihanna garb.
you know what?
His lip sync garb to
What
the
I will see-
Academy.
what I will see-
and
what
said,
I will see-
I have a proposition for you.
You know what I want? Here's my when you wish upon a star. Here's my big wish. Ready?
Yeah.
I want Andrew Garfield, Best Actor, Tick Tick Boom, Best Supporting Actor, Spider-Man.
No, you're not
do.
getting that.
You're
I
not
would
getting
possibly
it.
get up and do a flip if that happened. I think I would go a little bit bananas.
Okay, I
Oh my
legitimately
goodness.
think that Spider-Man will get a Best Picture nom.
You don't really.
I legitimately think it will happen. I
Really?
think I think that the Oscars are
Really?
so interested in like actually getting people to watch they will give
They're
Spider-Man
so desperate.
so
Zendaya,
desperate as
best
to
supporting
give.
actress.
Well, because think about it. I think that Far
In
From
Dune?
Home.
No,
Oh, that'd be awesome.
But
Dune's winning Best Picture. Oh, I forgot about Dune.
I don't think it's winning, but I think it's nominated. I think it's best adapted screenplay. I think it's best visual effects. Best actor.
It's
Timothy.
really good cinematography too.
Best supporting actress for his mom. I bet.
For Zendaya.
Dude, a lot of good movies came out this year. I think oh my God, like James Bond came out this year too.
You said this year was the year of the indie. I think this year was the year of really good
of the
blockbusters.
blockbusters.
I think No Way Home, Dune, even stuff like
No Time to Die.
West Side Story, No Time to Die. Like these were all pretty big blockbusters.
Well, the other thing that I really like about this year is that Denis Villeneuve, or as I call him, Denis
Denis Villeneuve. Villeneuve.
Yeah, well, I disrespect the French at every possible
How'd you call it?
opportunity.
Said
What did you call
tweet
falling action again?
Denouement.
You said set tweet.
But so Dennis, he's really good at making like typically indie movies. And I think what we're finally seeing is that we're getting a lot of these indie sensibilities being put into like big films now.
I have a question.
I feel.
I have a burning question. This or In the Heights? 2021 musical movie.
Oh, In the Heights. In the Heights.
No shot. Really?
I actually
just
am
enjoy
very.
In the Heights.
In the Heights was good.
In the Heights is one of the most entertaining movies I have seen in like a while, and I
Really?
love the music a lot more than West Side Story.
Really?
I'm really caught in the middle though, because I think that all of the like we're gonna draw on the screen stuff in the Heights is stupid and bad compared to
True.
like what they do in West Side
Say
Story.
it. West Side
Fair.
Story is
I'm really caught in the
classic
middle.
filmmaking done at its best.
Yes.
Like there's no fancy. I don't want to say bad words. There's no BS. All right. It's just we're gonna shoot the movie and we are gonna shoot it. Like we're gonna shoot the hell out of this movie.
He put his kneecaps
He
into
put
it.
it all into this movie. Like that shot where he's singing to Maria, Tony is, and he's standing on the puddle, and they like angle it just right so that the puddle fills the background and the lights start like sparkling off of it. That is some of the most like ingenuitive, crazy, beautiful shooting I've seen in
It's
a long
Spielberg.
time. It's Spielberg.
It's Spielberg.
You can't.
He's a dream maker.
You can't compete with the king. Come on.
Yeah, no, like a lot of people. Well, so this is the weird thing. I go to film school, right? A lot of people.
Okay.
I gotta drop
pause,
it.
Pause.
Okay.
Rap.
Wait a minute.
Here we go.
It's related, I promise.
He has a major within the film school.
No, it's so awesome.
Hey, you did not have to do him like that.
No, because games people are treated as like outcasts in the film school.
That's
like
sad.
like in the one class
Do you
where we
guys
had-
walk by the film students and like
Justified
snap? I can only snap with one hand.
No,
and I'm holding
I
the mic.
actually
You're a
despise
deaf,
it
you're a
because
deaf.
like whenever we're in a class with the rest of the film students, everybody else in my major will go up and say like, "Hello, my name is blah blah blah. I'm a gamer," and then all of the like game design majors will go like, "Yeah." I'm like, "You guys are not doing a really good job for
No,
yourselves."
bad
anyway."
Bad PR.
I'm gonna be real. But the point is, I go to film school. And there is
point
a
is-
very big thing amongst a bunch of like younger filmmakers. They think that Spielberg is like is over the hill. They think that his best days are gone and that he hasn't released that great of a movie for a while. And they're interested in more modern directors. I think that sucks and is stupid.
I think this was his comeback.
I like
Not
he-
even- don't
he's
call it a
been
comeback. You've been
good
here for
director.
years.
He's been a good director all of the time. He's just phenomenal at what he does, and I hope that people can start appreciating classic filmmaking styles, like you said, a whole lot more. Because Spielberg comes from that crop of people that studied like black and white, like movie makers.
He's one of the old masters.
He's one of the old masters, and he shows that he still has it.
He's
And-
like Uguay.
and what really separates that's a wild
No,
take.
why would you say that?
Brain is wide open today.
Oogway.
Uruguay.
But what really separates him from, I think, some other modern filmmakers is that he sees the story in very common elements in the scene. Like, he can do that thing with the puddle because he can just, like, he thinks of all the different ways that he can use these elements inside of his settings to tell a story, and he does it beautifully. It's just creativity. Like, it's just
Does it
being creative.
flawlessly.
Like,
You go.
I love me some Steven Spielberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just really great
He-
stuff.
He will get a Best Director nom.
I hope he wins
Oh,
it.
yeah.
I hope he wins it.
I think Dennis is going to win it.
I hope him or Dennis win it. I'd be happy with either one.
Yeah.
Denis.
Dennis.
The Menace. Have
We're
you ever
gonna-
seen that movie?
Dennis the Menace?
I
Did
would
you,
call my friend Denise Dennis the Menace.
Did you guys ever read the Dennis the Menace comics?
No.
Yes, he was indeed a menace.
Cock-a-doodle-doo.
Oh.
Oh,
Awoo.
Raggy. Sorry, that was
Ruh-roh.
copyrighted.
Oh, we just got DMCA'd, actually.
Yikes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Demonetized.
I actually just got the DMCA email, and in it also said that we have 2 patron questions. Kasey, do you know anything
Ooh.
about that?
I'm also CC'd on this email. Read it out. I'll read it
I'm
out.
BCC'd.
I'm not. What the hell?
Anyways, so coming from Michael and Heather Clark, we have the question that now that we have gone over 100 episodes, can you believe that? What
Yeesh.
would,
Wrap
right?
it
It's
up.
crazy. What would each of us say the most beautiful movie in terms of cinematography is that we reviewed and why? Also, bonus points if our answers start a argument.
I feel like
Ooh.
mine might, but in the interest of time, I'm going to ask you guys to just let this one slide, maybe. West Side Story.
Why would that start an argument? That's like
I don't know.
really...
Well, just maybe. I don't. Just it might. Based on the West Side
You know,
Story
it
episode.
started an argument because now I think it's weird that you thought that would start an argument. So,
Okay, Charlie, what was yours?
Dune.
Very cool.
Dune.
Dune? Okay.
Dune.
Eh.
Don't say
I'm just
age
kidding.
of that? Oh,
I'm just
my.
kidding. I'm just kidding.
He
I'm just
said
kidding.
mid. All right. Well, for me, it would be Moonlight.
Ooh, I
Yeah,
forgot
y'all
we
forgot
reviewed
about
that.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh wait, guys. There's another question in here. All right.
Really?
Yes, coming from the Christopher Heatherly. He's saying Valentine's Day is coming up. Favorite romantic comedy? Bonus points if it stars a former SNL member.
Mm. Do any of you guys have any that earn bonus points? Because I'm pretty sure mine does not.
Mine doesn't.
Mine, so one that could is Groundhog Day. That movie's very fun.
Is that a romantic comedy? I
Totally.
haven't seen it.
Yeah, no, there's a
I-
huge romance in Groundhog Day. Bill
Okay.
Murray stars. But my answer is Mamma Mia. I love Mamma Mia. That movie is so much fun.
Fair.
Not really a rom-com, but sort of. Like it's about
Why
the
would
dads
you-
more than it is.
I was gonna say, why would you
It
say
is-
that
it's
and
romantic
then be like,
comedy. There's tons of romance and tons of comedy.
Yeah, no, there's both in it. So definitely highly recommend that movie. Very fun.
here I
Mac-
go again?
James?
Isn't that the second Mamma Mia? Here we go again.
Yep.
Yep.
Also very good. Shockingly good.
Shockingly. My answer is Some Kind of Wonderful is my favorite romantic comedy. I would like, here's where I'd list who it stars and when it came out and who it's directed by, but I don't have any of that off the dome. But I know it's called Some Kind of Wonderful and it's really good. That's
I
all.
like Some Kind of Wonderful. I read
Yeah.
the book.
There's a book?
Yeah.
Dang.
I read
What
the
now-
book before I saw the movie, baby. Hell
Hmm.
yeah.
I don't know
Mm.
what you guys are talking about.
Oh, you
but-
got to watch it. You got to watch it. It is so, it'll make you, well,
No,
I totally lost my train of
good.
thought. It's nice. It's nice. No, I was thinking about how angry we were after weathering with you. It'll make you that kind of angry.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah,
how
yeah.
I know it's a good rom-com is if I feel sad and dejected afterwards.
Yeah, Valentine's
yeah.
Day is coming up. Damn it.
Pain. All right, so I'll finish us off and I'll say my favorite rom-com is 10 Things I Hate About You.
Yes, sir.
Ooh, that's a big one.
I love that one. Yeah, it's just beautiful.
Classic. That's my boy Matthew McConaughey, right? Or is that
Absolutely not.
No,
Heath Ledger
Heath
and
Ledger?
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
No. Don't laugh at me because How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days is the one with Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah. that
In
one.
my head,
I
it's
will
the
give you
10.
that.
Oh, and Tenet is Robert Pattinson.
Oh, my favorite
What?
rom-com.
Ooh.
Pattinson.
All right. Thank you so much to our patrons for those wonderful patron questions. If you want to ask a question, you can become a patron at patreon.com/Socratic Cinema for as little as $1 a month. Back to you, past Charlie, James, and Kasey.
Is this a temporal pincer?
I think this is
Again?
a temporal
Stop.
pincer.
Get out of it. Leave.
Thank you, Kasey.
I would have kicked that kid out of my house.
Yeah. Mr. Frederick, no, what was the old man's name? Mr. Fredrickson was an up. Anyways, that's not important. Listen, for the noms for tonight, for West Side Story, there's a lot. Best director,
Yes.
best
Yeah.
score,
Yep.
best
Yeah.
adapted screenplay, perhaps.
Yep.
Maybe, yeah.
Listen, okay, I think it's got best costume design. I think so, right? It had good costumes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Did I already say best adapted screenplay?
You did.
I
Yeah.
think, listen, do we see any actors getting a best?
No.
Yes.
Maybe,
Who?
Lead female.
I think
okay.
I see female.
Maria did eat.
Maria's brother's girlfriend supporting.
Yes.
think she
No,
ate.
entirely agree.
Oh,
She
yeah.
nailed it.
She ate.
Afro Latina. Ooh.
And then definitely, there's gonna be a supporting male nom in there somewhere.
Riff? I'd be proud of Riff if he got a best.
I think it's Riff. I think it's
don't
No.
or Bernardo.
or Bernardo. I was gonna say I think it's one of them.
Riff or
gets it.
Bernardo. I don't really care. Jets versus Sharks. Who's the guy who's got it? I don't know. Not Ansel. Ansel's not getting anything.
Ansel's not getting anything.
Best
You will
director.
get nothing but jail time.
Fasho. Best director.
I actually don't know if it's best director.
I'm sorry.
Really?
I think they might snub him.
You think? I'd be sad if they did. Who else? What five? Villeneuve is getting a nom.
I think Villeneuve is getting a nod. Jane Campion for Power of the Dog.
You think?
Absolutely Power of the Dog. Probably the guy from Come On, Come On. Because I mean, like they always do something like
we
that.
gotta watch that one. I think.
Yeah, we
Do
gotta watch
we?
it. But
What do you have against it?
I know nothing about it.
It's Joaquin Phoenix. It's black and white. He plays like a writer who does a radio show for kids or something.
yeah, Joel Cohen might get one this year
All right.
for Tragedy in Macbeth.
Casey, what do you want to watch then, Casey?
I want to watch an Adam Driver movie.
Which one?
Why
What
would
has he
you-
made this
what?
year?
He was in House of Gucci and made a net.
I don't want to see House of Gucci. I'm sorry.
My family saw it and they said it was awful. But I do love doing the Father, Son, and House of Gucci thing.
Father, Son, and House
House
of
of
Gucci.
Gucci.
What about? I've heard Drive My Car is really good, or Drive Your Car. I forgot what it's called. I think it's a Korean film.
That is
Oh,
way
okay.
too indie to win anything. I don't know.
But I've heard it's real good.
I hear it's real good. I don't
want to
know.
see it. I want to see that. I want to see Power or Tragedy of Macbeth. I want to see Come On, Come On.
I thought you were
Yeah.
gonna say Power, like the TV show Power.
Power.
And
no,
I was
like the Kanye West song. I think that should be nominated for Best
Oh
Picture.
God,
Um,
what's happening?
Back to West Side Story. Back to Oscars. I think this is going to get a lot of nominations.
I think
Oh,
totally. And
definitely.
you should see it. Like,
You should genuinely. It's a really good movie.
yeah, I think that if you're fine with all of the topics that it covers and you're willing to, sit through that and really like pay attention, this
it's
is
long.
totally a good watch.
It is.
It's like
yeah.
over 2.5. I think.
Oh no, it's long.
I think it's
over 2.5.
I think it's around 2.5, but it felt a lot longer. This felt like 3 hours. This felt long to me.
Yes.
yeah.
But it was good. Like, I mean, there's stuff I would have cut if it were me, but
Same.
yeah, apparently different things. No, but overall, yeah, it was very good. Didn't I heard someone say that Rachel Ziegler got discovered from like TikTok or something, or like social media?
Yes.
What
Yeah.
do you have?
I don't know
Do you happen to
anything.
know the scoop?
I don't know the scoop, but I do know that she wasn't like in the.
This was like a debut
she
for
got
her?
like the Moana treatment, where it was like, oh man, I'm gonna butcher her name.
She was a YouTuber.
Oili? Oh, she was a YouTuber.
Oh, word.
Yeah.
They
I'm
should put me in the next
reading.
one.
Right, James in Spring Awakening? Question mark.
Oh my gosh. Ooh.
I love Spring Awakening. It's hurtful. it hurts
Isn't that
me.
the? Oh my gosh, I know like one song from Spring Awakening.
Okay,
Oh,
wait.
it's good.
Here we go. I got
That
the
one. I
scoop.
know that one. Yeah.
Mama who gave. Sorry.
So she has a YouTube channel that's been active since 2015.
Wow.
One of her
wow.
biggest videos was her singing "Shallow" from A Star Is Born.
That'll
11
do
million
it.
views on Twitter,
Whoa.
which is pretty huge. This is awesome. Spielberg did an open casting call via Twitter in 2018. She responded by singing "Tonight" and "I Feel Pretty," and she apparently did pretty well.
Apparently.
I mean, apparently.
Wow.
in the
no,
movie.
that's great though.
Yeah.
She's a really
Great.
good singer. She's
Yeah.
got range.
Yeah.
She does.
Ansel Elgort sung good enough. You know?
They
Well,
said
it's
we
because-
want him for this role and we will make it work.
Yep.
He has to
That's
sing
what
like twice.
happened.
He really doesn't do a lot of
Tony
singing.
doesn't do a lot of singing.
He just goes Maria, and that's it.
It's like, okay, Maria. I could do that.
That song is beautiful.
I love
that.
that,
Might be my
yeah.
favorite, actually.
And it has the puddle shot. That's the one with the
It has
puddle
the puddle
shot.
shot.
Yeah, so good.
Just that line about her name where it's like, say it loudly, it sounds like something, something. Say it softly, it sounds just like a prayer.
yeah.
Love that.
Yeah, that line, the something 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 line.
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah.
I love the something, something,
Beautiful.
something line.
No, but actually, new runner for my favorite song. The one right before the rumble, where it's like it's sort of like the One Day More of this.
Yeah.
The tonight.
Yeah.
That is really good. It's a good comparison, I think. It's I really like that. I'm a sucker for the big Act 1 closers where like all of the characters are singing their own parts, like One Day More or like Nonstop. This is like
Now that right there.
Nonstop
right there.
literally scratches
Feed
my
me.
brain like nothing else. And this was like the Nonstop of, oh my gosh, this is like musical theater sacrilege. This is like
Just
the
a little
Hamilton of
Do you
West
know
Side
what's
Story.
really sacrilegious about this movie? Shrek is in it.
He is not.
Shrek is in this movie.
What do you mean by
Myers?
that?
The Broadway performer who did Shrek
Okay.
Oh,
Is-
I was gonna say. I was
is-
like,
Way to get us riled up.
yeah.
is, I think, one of the police officers or something.
Officer Crumpnick.
No, I don't think it's Crumpnick. It's somebody
Crumpnick?
else. Crumpkey.
Crumpnick.
My bad. That's on me.
That's the guy's last name from Kicking It.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude.
The skinny dude.
The nostalgia bomb.
It
Yeah.
is Crumpnick.
Yeah.
Yo.
Something.
Kicking It
Crumpnick.
episode coming next.
Kicking It was good. Kicking It
God,
was
I could
good.
only do Kicking It inebriated.
Yeah, why didn't Steven Spielberg direct an episode of
Respectfully.
Kicking It?
I think you would have loved it.
He would have loved it.
No, listen.
Imagine.
The cast of Kicking It could have done West Side Story,
Story.
but Spielberg could have never done Kicking It.
Please, Leo Howard. That's all. That's the tweet.
Oh, he fell off the face of the earth. What is he doing now?
He was in Woman Who Kill. That
What?
was super low key ABC show where it was like an anthology of all these women who killed
Of Women Who Kill?
Of Women Who
in
Kill.
like a house specifically, and it was pretty good.
You guys
He
want
was in an older woman. Good for him. Lucy Liu, me too,
Wait,
brother.
what?
Me
Wait, what are
too.
you saying? Pause, rewind, what?
You said
it
I
was
don't
a
really want to repeat
stacked
what I thought
cat.
I heard you say, but he was with an older woman?
Yeah, in that show, who was
Oh
played
my
by Lucy
gosh.
Liu.
Okay. That makes more
And
sense to me.
again, I would have folded.
I don't get the words you're saying. I have no context.
Where's
for
the
this.
humanity? You guys want to hear the Twitter film take of the day?
Yep.
Oh no.
John Watts could make Taxi Driver, but Scorsese couldn't make No Way Home.
Shut up.
That's great.
That's every episode. We're just gonna sprinkle in a little bit of the Holland Scorsese feud.
Eagle-eared viewers, go through like the recordathon episodes that we're gonna put up. You know, starting at whatever the first one is at Hawkeye and ending with Big Lebowski, and just look for all of the continuous plot threads from our conversation today.
Yeah, and piece it together. And
Yeah,
and
whoever
Oh,
does
yeah.
it first wins $1,000.
That we
Whoa.
don't have.
Yeah,
Hold
as
on.
as determined.
Did you know the director of the Dark Souls games said anyone who correctly figures out the plot of those games wins like 10K or something?
Really?
Yeah, and no one's got it.
Yeah.
It's
I'm about to
crazy.
get out my conspiracy board.
Boy, there's
Cracked
like
knuckles.
entire YouTube channels dedicated to trying to figure it out. It's
Wow.
crazy.
But none of them are me. Y'all be
No, I would
easy,
simply
though.
understand it if it were me.
I would simply understand it. I would simply cash that check
How-
if it was me.
How do you guys feel about Chino? Let's talk about the Chino,
Oh my
man.
I like I like those types of pants.
Yeah, I actually do really like
They're
Chinos.
actually really good. Vans chinos.
Vans. I love going into the van store and then I look at a price tag and I leave.
Yeah.
We were at the
We were at
the van store. I remember.
We went
I
shopping
wasn't.
together.
Charlie wasn't. Chino. I always felt sort of weird about him as a villain because it never.
It never feels right.
He always felt like he came in last minute. you
I
know?
empathize with
Yeah.
Chino.
Yeah, you understand.
Yeah,
Chino's kind of an
being
incel.
the other.
You know what, James?
No, tell me.
Jeez.
Think it through. Think it through. You can see it.
You think he's
I
an
can't
incel?
have her.
I don't
No
necess-
one can.
That was hyperbolic, but yes, exactly. No, you can see it.
Oh, true.
That is
Also,
a-
wait, that's not what he does that for. He does it because he killed Bernardo. That's what he did.
But at first he got mad. Well, actually, no.
I don't really think he was upset that
He
she was
didn't-
dating
No, he
someone
wasn't
else.
really.
He wasn't upset
I'm
at
just
all.
clowning around.
Right, but in the OG one, like Maria was only in America to marry Chino.
What?
Yeah, bro.
And the OG one,
Chino thought he had it in the bag.
it's like why
Chino
I'm in
fumbled.
America?
Chino got robbed. He said,
fumbled.
"It should have
He said,
been me." No, Chino. Yeah, I just never. I mean, Bernardo died. Bernardo was a much more compelling, like, not antagonist, but he was a much more compelling, like. I mean, I guess he's an antagonist to the relationship, right? That's, I guess,
Yeah.
the proper word. He's a much more compelling antagonist than Chino was to me. Chino just sort of feels like he stumbled into this mess and is trying to, like, which I guess is kind of the whole point, but I don't know.
His character is solely made to act as a plot device,
Yeah.
which I think is the problem. Like,
Yeah.
he's not enough of a character for me to really care about him. And it's
Yeah.
like, oh, the nerdy guy's back, but this time with a vengeance.
Uh-huh.
Like, and you know,
Red
flag.
been there, done that.
Red flag. Yeah.
But like, yeah, you're right. Chino's really not super compelling, but he like works.
He works fine. He does his job.
Yeah, he shoots.
I
That's
wish-
all.
I-
Ask
Yeah.
questions later.
I wish
Shoot
we got a
first.
little more development on some of the other Jets and Sharks. Like, we only really got to know Tony and Riff and maybe, what was his name? Young Daniel or whatever.
Oh yeah, baby Daniel.
Like, that's it, but that's it, though.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I wanted more on like Popeye McGillicuddy and
Yeah, I wanted more
Sparkle
on
Tree
Rat
Christmas
Man
Bulb
and
Rat Man.
Soup Can, Kick a Bucket.
yeah, Soup Can, Yum Yum Boy,
Bow-legged somehow.
Bow-legged.
Bow-legged is just
That's just
insult.
yeah, it's just me.
ugly.
Cross-eyed.
Or the Sharks,
Ugly.
too. I wanted more Sharks. We got, like, 2 Sharks. We know 2 Sharks. We know Bernardo and we know Chino. And that's it.
And they don't have fun names.
No.
They have like regular names.
Yeah.
I think this is
Because
why
they're
they were
ju-
losing the
Bro,
game
the
war.
Sharks are literally neighborhood watch.
The Jets
Prove
are
me
legit.
wrong.
The Jets are LARPers, is what they are.
So true.
They're very LARPer. You
very
feel me?
LARPery.
Yeah. A lot of,
my God.
I'm so
lot
glad
of
we're
LARPing.
talking
I'm gonna
about
role
it.
play as a racist. Oh wait.
Well, no, but they're like, let's give ourselves fun little names and let's like play and have carry knives and be a little gang. It's like, okay, bro. Okay,
It's like,
bro.
please.
Yeah, yeah,
Please.
yeah, right.
I feel like
Are they Italian? Are they Polish? What brand of white are they?
they're just
They're Polish.
They're all Polish. Yeah, I think that's the thing because they're like
They use a Polish slur in there.
right. No, they are Polish. You're right. You're right. Because they used to get discriminated against back in the day.
Yeah.
and so I think that's why.
what do they say? They can't do Caucasian or
Yeah, they
something.
can't do
And I was like,
Right, yeah, it was like
True.
it was like Irish, Polish, and Italians were like they like immigrated and then they
Yeah.
convinced everyone they were white.
yeah.
Is how it
And
is.
then, well, it's interesting because this movie tackles gentrification, immigration, poverty, and like scarcity, talking about white people. And then it's also like on top of that being like the romance and stuff.
Yeah.
Because the only reason why Riff and his buddies are like, minorities are because they're already getting pushed out by people, white people, richer and
Yep.
better than them.
Right,
And
there's a
then-
common enemy there. They
Yeah.
need to unite. Class
Rainbow Coalition.
class divides more
Rainbow
than
Coalition.
race.
that
Listen,
part.
and you know what else talked about all of these, but decades later, In the Heights.
In the Heights.
West Side Story did it first, baby. The blueprint.
The blueprint.
And somehow, did West Side Story had more black people than In the Heights did?
Yep.
About the same.
I don't know. I'd have to watch it again, probably.
Man.
That was the big. Well,
In the Heights has one.
It has budget Leslie Odom Jr.
Don't do that to my man.
What's his name?
Wow.
I don't know.
So bad.
But you knew who I was talking about.
What's
I did.
his
I
name?
did.
I win this
I did.
round.
Pardon me. Aren't you Aaron Burr, sir?
Sir. okay.
It's Aaron, but E-R-I-N.
E-R. I forgot that's how way you can spell Aaron. That's like one of
What
those.
do you mean? One of our friends
I
has
know.
their.
Yeah,
their
that's why I
spelled that
just
way.
remembered because we know someone named that way. Yeah, huh? Think about it. Think
Look
about
at
it
this
next time.
guy.
Look,
It's one of those names. It's one of those names that any way you think you can spell it, you can spell it. Like Kaylee.
Yes, so true.
The only thing stopping you is your fear. You could probably work a Z in there somewhere if you tried
The
hard
Z
enough.
is silent.
An X, you could totally get an X into Kaylee.
Kaylee.
No, you couldn't.
Yeah, absolutely.
My name's Kaylee.
Cakesley.
Yeah, like
Caxley.
Cakesley. I could see it.
Cakes.
If you name your child Cakesley, I'm so...
Axley with an X, like Ash. That's how like the new meta is. They replace all like SHs or LGHs with X's.
I've told you
Oh,
guys that I
God.
used to teach a guy named Wraith.
Yes.
Wraith?
That is
Wraith.
Like WRAITH.
Yep.
Wow,
Wow.
that
And
dude
I-
is spectral.
And I do not... I don't want to reveal the rest of his name because that would be doxing, but it is equally as awesome.
He is.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, like his name
Is
is.
he a little Phantom-esque?
A little Phantom-esque.
Really?
Yeah. It's
That's
pretty
you-
dope.
You gotta be.
I'm going to name my child after a ghostly figure.
Poltergeist.
Banshee. Poltergeist. Come here, little poltergeist.
I'm gonna name my
Polter.
kids Ghoul, Goblin, and Gaggle.
Willem Dafoe will be the godfather.
Those are my 3 favorite Jets.
Those are your 3 favorite what?
Those are my 3 favorite Jets. Ghoul, Goblin, and Gaggle.
They're just like pasty white.
I imagine them with a
Alaba-
little
the
bit of a-
alabaster
no, they're
boy.
just the
limp.
3 Irish people in the gang. They name after the ghost.
White on white crime.
Yeah, by the way, the redhead representation in this movie, very bad.
Scant, yeah. Not
Scant.
A whole lot.
Yeah.
Jesse Plemons always makes up for redhead representation in every film that
But
he's
he
in.
does have to be kind of an ass.
Jesse
does have to be
Plemons
bad.
gets typecast as one role, and it's so sad. And it's like
no, white antagonist.
But I like it.
Jesse Plemons. He played. Did you guys watch Breaking Bad?
No.
The majority of it, yes.
Did you get to Todd? Did you get to Jesse Plemons?
I did not get to Todd.
Ah, rats. He was skinny in that one.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And it was a thing because when El Camino came out, they brought back Jesse Plemons and he wasn't skinny anymore. And El Camino was supposed to take place right after Breaking Bad. So it was a little awkward. But do you guys have any parting words on West Side, Best Side Story?
Watch it.
Yeah, see it. Go
watch it.
Oh, that was a little less enthusiastic.
Yeah, a little less enthusiastic.
I mean, I don't really enjoy Romeo and Juliet.
That's fair, honestly.
Like,
That's
I
no one's
really
gonna. I
don't.
don't knock you for that. That's
It's like
fine.
the point of Romeo and Juliet, I feel like, is like, of course, the two families battling over nothing, which gives like this neutrality.
Yeah, I think it's a
And then-
cautionary tale.
Right. Yeah. Totally a cautionary tale. But like the battle, like the two sides, like you kind of find this like neutrality in it where it's like, they're both kind of nonsensical. But then like with West Side Story, it's like, no, you can't make me agree with the Jets.
Yeah,
I'm
there's a-
sorry.
Yeah.
But
Like,
they do
no
they-
way.
And they don't even unite that much at the end. Like they help. They both sides help carry Tony's body, and then the movie ends.
Yeah, they said sorry
Yeah.
about that, my G, and then the movie ends. The credit roll.
Forgive and forget.
No.
That's what they said, not
Hey,
me.
man.
Yeah, West Side Story. I think the verdict is, well, you gave it like an 8. You gave it like a 7, and
I gave it,
and
8.5 is what I said.
and I gave it a 9. So, I guess like an 8.5 is the Socratic rating.
Yeah.
True
As
to
it
form.
should be.
Ay, ay, ay. We really got to start hating movies a little more. We have the
Yup.
guts to drop like a 2. That would be nuts. I don't think we gave
I don't think
It's
any
so
movie
bad,
can be
I
a 2.
would give you a 0.
but I gave you a
can't.
1. All right. Well, let's just park it over in the spiel zone then. Thank you again. We're coming to the end of another episode of the Socratic Cinema podcast. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed, be sure to share this episode with your pals and tell us what they think of West Side Story and whether or not they think Steven Spielberg deserves Best Director. If you're listening on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and click the bell, so you never miss a new episode. Drop a comment, drop a like, follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts so you never miss a new episode. And if you would like to support us financially, if you'd like to open your wallet as well as your heart, you can find us at patreon.com/Socratic Cinema. If you feel so inclined, never required, always appreciated. You get all sorts of fun perks for as little as $1 a month.
Little required.
We got to keep the lights on. We do have
Yeah.
bills to pay. We'll also shoot Charlie if we don't reach a certain
I
quota.
am being held captive
Charlie has been here against his will.
in my own basement.
In his own basement. But that's all for today. We'll catch you guys in the next episode of the Socratic Cinema Podcast. Adios.
Adios.
Is adios appropriate for this movie?
None of us are Hispanic.
It's pretty loaded.